On the right. Okay.
Today is the 9th of May, and we're getting ready to start here. Here we go, first slide. Trivia.
Yes.
How many years?
15.
It was supposed to be did Yahweh, not the, add to Hezekiah's life after being healed of sickness. Yay, Shauna. Good job. Okay. How old was Josiah when he became king of Judah?
8.
On a roll. Okay, here we go, Shauna. You ready?
Oh, gosh, no.
How many years did Jacob live for?
I said 127.
Yeah.
147 years. Pretty nice. Pretty ripe old age. Which king decreed that the Jews could return to the land and rebuild the temple?
Which king decreed
Is
the
it
Jews?
Darius or Cyrus?
No, it's Cyrus.
Cyrus is correct. Good job. Look at you guys. The big brains on y'all. All right. Okay.
Where do we went? Where's our curtain?
You get some cake.
You get cake. That's right. And you can blow out. You can each blow out a candle. One candle, not two, but one candle. All right. Last fellowship that I did, we covered King Asa. Okay. Who is King Asa's successor? The next in line in Judah.
That was Ahab, wasn't it?
Of Judah.
ASA?
ASA? I don't know how you pronounce that. Is it?
Hezekiah.
No, for Judah, it was his son, who was also
Jehoshaphat?
Jehoshaphat is correct. That's right. And so we're going in here. This is kind of like a two-part. We did Asa last week, or last fellowship. We're doing Jehoshaphat. So we're going to do a little study of Jehoshaphat and see. And learn from some of the things. We learned last time from Asa what a good man he was, but yet there were still some things that he fell short of that we learned from it. And so again, this is a scripture from last time. You don't have to look it up. Romans 15:4, whatsoever things, in fact, were written aforetime, all are for our own instruction, were written in order that through endurance and through the encouragement of the scriptures we might have their hope. So we learn from them the things that they did. Jehoshaphat was a good man. He was a very good man. But we're going to see some things that you're like going, and try to, would I have done the same thing? Would I have made these mistakes? Or what mistakes am I making? So let's start off here in Psalms 34. Psalms 34, verses 18 through 19. It's going to be on page 544 here of the Rotherham. Verses 18 and 19. Near is Yahweh to the broken in heart, and the crushed in spirit will he save. Many are the misfortunes of the righteous, but out of them all doth Yahweh rescue him. Okay, so that's kind of a theme here that we're going to kind of be looking at. Jehoshaphat. To start with, it means Yahweh has judged, and you see here's the spelling of it in the Hebrew name. And so how we pronounce it is a little bit different, but I think we're kind of all used to that. Son of King Asa, king himself of Judah for 25 years, one of the best, most poised and prosperous kings of Judah. Son of King Asa and Azbua, king of Judah for 25 years, righteous king. During the time frame, because we're setting the stage here, as we go through this, it's very important to know who the kings of Israel were at the same time. Kings of Israel that were in reign during the time of Jehoshaphat were Ahab, Ahaziah, and Jehu. And so it's also important to see the geography. I think this is really important. You have Judah, Philistia, or however you pronounce that, Moab, Ammon, Israel, Egypt down here. So you're surrounded by friendly neighbors. Okay, we have to remember that as we look into this with Judah. All right, you're looking at the sides around you, and you're like going, there are times where you are an island. You are on your own amongst everybody. And so it's important to know that Syria, obviously up a little bit farther north, but you can see these two are enemies. This is an enemy. Egypt is an enemy, and Israel at times is also an enemy. Let's start off here. We're going to go to 2 Chronicles 17, and if you have a ribbon, you can go ahead and probably put it there because we're going to be jumping back and forth to there. Remember last week we did 14 through 16 of King Asa. So, a lot of reading here. We're going to be in 17, and we're going 1 through 13, and I'll go ahead and start reading here. Page 449. Yeah, it starts off with chapter 17, verse 1. And Jehoshaphat His son reigned in his stead and strengthened himself against Israel and put forces in the fortified cities of Judah and set garrisons in the land of Judah and the cities of Ephraim, which Asa his father had captured. So he's fortifying first. And it came to pass that Yahweh was with Jehoshaphat because he walked in the first ways of David his father and sought not unto Baalim, for unto the Elohim of his father he sought, and in his commandments he walked, and not according to the doing of Israel. Therefore did Yahweh establish the kingdom in his hand. And all Judah gave a present unto Jehoshaphat, and he came to riches and honor and abundance. And his heart was encouraged in the ways of Yahweh, and he yet further took away the high places of the sacred stems, or the Asherah, out of Judah. And in the 3rd year of his reign he sent to his rulers, even to Ben-Hail, and I'm probably mispronounce a few of these, but I'll do my best, and Obadiah, and unto Zechariah, and unto Nathaniel, and unto Micaiah, that they were to teach throughout the cities of Judah. Now this is important because what he's doing now is not only did he cleanse things and set things apart, he went out to teach, and he's teaching the word of Yahweh, that the people know the commandments and the laws. Verse 8, and with them Levites, Shemaiah, and Nathani, and Zebediah, and Ashel, and Shemiramoth, and Johanathan, Adonijah, I'm not sure to pronounce this, Tobiah, and Tobin-Abaniah. However, I'm butchering these. Anyways, you know the point here. Levites, and with them Elishama, Jehoram priests, and they taught throughout Judah, and with them was the book of the law of Yahweh. So they went round throughout all the cities of Judah and taught the people. And it came to pass the dread of Yahweh was upon all the kingdoms of the countries that were round about Judah. That's why it's important to know the geography, who we're talking about. All around Judah. And they warred not against Jehoshaphat. And from among the Philistines they were bringing into Jehoshaphat a present, and silver as a tribute, but even the Arabians were bringing in unto the flock 7,700 rams, and 7,700 he-goats. And it came to pass that Jehoshaphat went on waxing surpassingly great, and he built throughout Judea fortresses and the cities for store, and much business he had he throughout the cities of Judah, but the men of war, the heroes of valor, were in Jerusalem. Okay, so things are pretty prosperous going for him, for Jehoshaphat. He set things correctly, things were abundant, it was good times, very good. Keep a ribbon here because we are coming back. Go to 1 Kings 22. 1 Kings 22, verse 41. We're going to be on page 380. And if somebody would read for me, please, 41 through 44.
Now Jehoshaphat, son of Asa, began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign, and 25 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And the name of his mother was Azubah, daughter of Shilhi. And he walked in all the way of Asa his father. He turned not aside therefrom, doing that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away. Still were the people offering sacrifices and burning incense in the high places. And Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel.
Okay, and that's it. That's where we're going to stop here. Who's the king of Israel at this point? Ahab. Good or bad to be making peace with Ahab? Okay, and so this is possibly something that, unless Yahweh tells you to be, where you look at, you have to be careful. I want to show you, this is an important slide here. You have kings of Israel here in the red, and you have kings of Judah here in the green. Okay, we're down here to Jehoshaphat. This is his son, Jehoram. Jehoram marries the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel. Very, very bad. Very bad. This is her. Okay, their lineage brings about Ahaziah, who dies about a year after reign, and guess who takes over? Yeah, the daughter, the offspring of Ahab and Jezebel. Yeah, and she was for 6 years and tried to wipe out the entire line. This was a very bad alliance for this to be involved with. Okay, should not have been involved with this. After 6 years, it goes back to Joash or Jehoash, and back down into the lineage again. But you have a little thing here where the two of them cross over. Ahab is now the king, but you see where the offspring is going, the son, and they make an alliance. The alliance would be like, one of George Bush's daughters marrying, Saddam Hussein's or Bin Laden's daughter. Okay, for an alliance. So you don't get into that. It's not something that should be done. Okay, and so that's important to see this where these two cross over. Chuck, I was going to ask you about this. Ahaziah here and Ahaziah, and are there just two of them? They're both.
Yeah, there's a lot of others.
Okay, I wasn't sure on this just because it's the same time frame, and so I was not positive about that, how that came about, but I was going to ask you about that. I didn't see anything with it. So that's where it comes down to. So we're also looking at a different alliance with Ahab. All right, and I'm going to kind of go over these, and then we're going to read those verses there in 2 Chronicles 18. So you can flip back to it. But here's what we're going to see, and the things I want you to watch for as we go through here. An alliance with Ahab. Okay, Ahab has 400 or hundreds of prophets that tell him exactly what he wants to hear. Okay, these are false prophets, but he's telling him what he wants to hear. Seeking the true word of Yahweh, is what Jehoshaphat's looking for. Micaiah warned of the defeat of Ahab. Ahab disguises himself not to appear as a king when they go to battle. Jehoshaphat is mistaken as the king of Israel. Guess who didn't go out disguised, but then gets mistaken as the king? Jehoshaphat makes an outcry to Yahweh and is saved. Ahab becomes wounded and dies from his wounds. Okay, he was wearing armor and disguised, and the arrows still found him, and he died. And just as it was forecast that the dogs would lap up his blood, as they cleaned the chariot that he died in, the dogs were lapping his blood up. Okay, so it was not a good thing. Anyways, let's go here to 2 Chronicles, and if somebody here would start, if you guys just kind of want to take turns going about 5 or so at a time, starting in chapter 18, we're going to go through verse 27.
And it came to pass when Jehoshaphat had riches and honor and abundance, that he contracted by marriage an affinity with Ahab. So he went down at the end of some years unto Ahab to Samaria. Ahab therefore sacrificed for him sheep and oxen in abundance, also for the people whom he had with him, and then persuaded him to go up against Ramoth Gilead. For Ahab king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat king of Judah, Wilt thou go up with me to Ramoth Gilead? And he said unto him, So am I, even as thou, and like thy people, or my people, and with thee, and the Lord. Then said Jehoshaphat unto the king of Israel, Seek, I pray thee, sometime today the word of Yahweh. So the king of Israel gathered together the prophets 400 men, and said unto them, Shall we go up against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, and may Elohim deliver it into the hand of the king. Then said Jehoshaphat, Is there not here a prophet of Yahweh besides, that we may seek hint from him? Then said the king of Israel unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man by whom to seek Yahweh, but I hate him, for he was never prophesying concerning anything good, but all his days evil. The same is Micaiah son of Imlah. Then said Jehoshaphat, Let not the king say no. And the king of Israel called for a certain officer and said, Haste, Micaiah son of Imlah. Now the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat king of Judah were sitting, each upon his throne, clothed in robes, and they were sitting in an open space at the entrance of Samaria, and all the prophets were prophesying before them. Then did Zedekiah's son Kenaiah made him horns of iron, and said, Thus saith Yahweh, With these shalt thou push Syria until they are consumed. And all the prophets were prophesying, so saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, and Yahweh will deliver it into the hands of the king. And the messenger who went to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying,
Now this is kind of funny here. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. He's warning him what the answer should be. When you come to prophesy, here's what you need to be saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's right. Lo, the words of the prophets with one mouth are good of the king. Be thy word then, I pray thee, like one of theirs, so wilt thou speak good. Then said Micaiah, By the life of Yahweh, whatsoever my Elohim shall say, that must I speak. Now when he came into the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go up against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, Go you up and prosper, and may they be delivered into your hand. Then the king said unto him, How many times must I be putting thee on oath that thou speak unto me nothing but the truth of the name of Yahweh? The name of Yahweh. So he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the mountains like sheep that have no shepherd. And Yahweh said, No masters have these. Let them return every man into his own house in peace. Then said the king of Israel unto Jehoshaphat, Said I not unto thee, he will not prophesy concerning me anything good but evil? Then said he, Therefore, hear ye the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting upon his throne, and all the host of the heavens, standing on his right hand and his left. Then said Yahweh, Who will persuade Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall in Ramoth Gilead? And one spake concerning after this manner, and another saying after that manner. Then came there forth a Ruach, and stood before Yahweh, and said, I will persuade him. And Yahweh said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and become a Ruach of falsehood in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou mayest persuade, moreover also thou shalt prevail. Go forth and do so. Now, therefore, lo, Yahweh hath suffered a Ruach of falsehood to be put into the mouth of these thy prophets, but Yahweh hath spoken concerning me evil. Then drew near Zedekiah, Kenaiah, and smote Micaiah upon the cheek, and said, Which then is the way the Ruach of Yahweh passed from me to speak with thee? Then said Micaiah, Lo, thou shalt see on that day when thou shalt enter into a chamber, within a chamber, to hide thyself. Then said the king of Israel, Take ye Micaiah, and carry him back unto Amon, ruler of the city, and unto Joash, son of the king, and he shall say, Thus said the king, Put ye this one into the prison, and feed him with the bread of oppression, and with the water of oppression, until I return in peace. Then said Micaiah, If thou do at all return in peace, Yahweh hath not spoken by me. And he said, Hear, ye peoples all.
That's it. And so he was challenging, almost a challenge with that. So when Ahab goes to war, he took the 400 prophets telling him to go and take it, and partially took the word of Micaiah. Okay, that's why he disguised himself. Otherwise, if he would have believed it, he would not have disguised himself. So he took both. He took what he wanted from both, basically, and goes out. And so the story, we kind of jumped through it, but the story is he goes and the king is defeated. He takes the arrow. They come after Jehoshaphat because they think he's the king, and he makes outcry to Yahweh, who basically diverts them, and they go away. Okay, so this is Ahab. This is what Ahab had done. So we're kind of jumping through here, but we're just taking it back. We're going to lead up now to the great victory of Yahweh for Jehoshaphat. But before we do there, let's jump over to Habakkuk. Keep a ribbon there because we're coming back. And Habakkuk 2:1 here, we're going to be on about page 893. 2 verse 1. Upon my watchtower will I stand, and I will station myself upon the bulwark. So I will keep outlook to see what he will speak with me, and what I shall reply when I am reproved. And this is a good thing, because this is the bonus of Jehoshaphat that we see. When somebody comes to reprove you, you have to remember what happened to Micaiah. He's threatened now for coming and giving the word. He was called to give the word. He gives the word. Now he's threatened. So he followed through with Yahweh, that he did what he gave the reproof that was supposed to come, the word. B, the reproof was not heeded. It was not taken. Jehoshaphat is a great example of somebody who did take it, who gets the reproof And what does he do with it? He's like, okay, I will heed this, and takes it. And that's the value, and that's one of the big bonuses of the things of this teaching I'm trying to express here from this, is when I am reproved, what will I do? What will I say? And so this is for all of us to be that way. When I get reproved, what do? Do I attack the person who's reproving me? Do I fear to go and reprove somebody for them, oppressing me? And so it's both ways that we have to look at that and be like Jehoshaphat, to be able to say, all right, you're right, okay? Jehoshaphat's alliances with Ahab, and this is it. We already saw this. His son married the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel. Business, he went into a shipping business with him, okay, which was not really successful in some areas. Military, went to war for Ahab. Ahab came to him and asked him to go to war. Let's go back to 2 Chronicles. And we're going to I'll read this one here. This is chapter 19 here that we're going to be going through. And I'm going to try to go through this kind of quick. Chapter 19, page 451, if anybody did not mark it. 2 Chronicles 19, verse 1. And Jehoshaphat the king of Judah returned unto his own house in peace to Jerusalem. Ahab did not. And there came out to meet him Jehoiah, son of Hananiah. Do you guys remember Hananiah from last teaching? The seer, who said unto King Jehoshaphat, excuse me, unto the lawless was it right to give help, and on them who hate Yahweh to bestow thy love? For this cause, therefore, is there wrath against thee from before Yahweh. Howbeit, good things are found with thee, for that thou hast consumed the sacred stems, or the Asherah, out of the land, and hast fixed thy heart to seek Elohim. So Jehoshaphat dwelt in Jerusalem, and he again went forth among the people from Beersheba as far as the hill country of Ephraim, and brought them back unto Yahweh, the Elohim of their fathers. And he stationed judges in the land through all the fortified cities of Judah, city by city, and said unto the judges, See what ye are doing, insomuch as not for man must ye judge, but for Yahweh, who will be with you in the word of justice. Now therefore let the dread of Yahweh be upon you. Observe and do, for there is with Yahweh our Elohim neither perversity nor respect of persons, nor the taking of bribes. And even in Jerusalem did Jehoshaphat station some of the Levites and the priests and the ancestral chiefs of Israel to pronounce the just sentence of Yahweh and to settle disputes. When they returned to Jerusalem, and he laid charge upon them, saying, Thus shall ye act in the fear of Yahweh, faithfully, and with an undivided heart. Any dispute that shall come in unto you from among your brethren, who are dwelling in the cities, between blood and blood, between the law and commandment, and the statutes and regulations, then shall ye warn them, that they may not become guilty against Yahweh, and so wrath come upon you and your brethren. Thus shall ye act, and not incur guilt. And lo, Amariah the chief priest is over you as every matter of Yahweh, and Zebediah son of Ishmael, the chief ruler, for the house of Judah, as to every matter of the king, and the officers and Levites are before you. Be strong and act, and Yahweh be with the good. Okay, so he changed it. He went back through. Change it. Wait a second. Make things correct. Do what's right. I'm going to read something here that I thought was kind of interesting. And I'm a hair behind here. Give me just a second. Okay, this is a commentary that I thought was kind of neat on this. It says, whenever we return in peace to our houses, we ought to acknowledge Yahweh's providence in preserving our going out and coming in. If we have been kept through more than common dangers, we are in a special manner bound to be thankful. Distinguishing mercies lay us under strong obligations. The prophet tells Jehoshaphat he had done very ill in joining Ahab. He took the reproof well. The effect of the reproof had been upon him. He strictly searched his kingdom. He searched out his own kingdom, but what the prophet said, Jehoshaphat perceived that his former attempts for reformation were well-pleasing before Yahweh. Therefore he did what was left undone, and it was good and commendations to quicken to his duty. I thought that's very accurate, that what he had gone through. Other thing here. Another thing that I had gone through and saw with this. The prophet by whom the reproof is sent is Jehu, the son of Hananiah. This is from last time with Asa. The father was the prophet in the last reign to Asa, as appeared by him being put in the stocks for him dealing with him plainly, or for his plain dealing. Yet the son was not afraid to reprove another king. So he saw his father punished by Asa for the word that came to Asa, and yet he still, even seeing that, came and delivered the word correctly. And so this is the kind of that we're looking at, that this is a habit of father to son, where you see sometimes father to son does not take it. And he did. He saw the reproof, and he saw what happened when he reproved, and yet he still stood, going against 400 and against the king, and still did it. All right, let's go back here. Go to 20, and this is, we're going to be wrapping it up here. And if somebody will read for me here, I know it's a lot of reading, but 3 through 19, please.
I will.
And the stage here settings, sorry, this is when the everything now is coming against, it's coming against Judah. And so there's multitudes coming at him, and we can start to pick up in 3.
Jehoshaphat was afraid and set his face to seek unto Yahweh, and proclaimed a fast for all Judah. And Judah gathered themselves together to inquire of Yahweh. Even out of all the cities of Judah came they in to seek Yahweh. And Jehoshaphat stood in the convocation of Judah and Jerusalem in the house of Yahweh before the new court, and said, O Yahweh, Elohim of our fathers, art not thou Elohim in the heavens? Art not thou not ruling throughout all the kingdoms of the nations? And in thy hand are there not strength and might? And is there any who against thee can stand? Are not thou our Elohim, who did dispossess the inhabitants of this land from before thy people Israel, and didst give it unto the seed of Abraham, who loved thee, unto time's age abiding? And they have dwelt therein, and have built for thee therein a sanctuary for thy name, saying, If there come upon us calamity, the sword of judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we will stand before this house, before thee, for thy name is in this house, that we may make outcry unto thee out of our distress, that thou mayest hear and say, Now therefore, lo, the sons of Ammon, and Moab, and Mount Seir, whom thou didst not suffer Israel to invade, when they came up out of the land of Egypt, but they turned away from them and destroyed them not. Yea, lo, they are requiting us, but coming to drive us out from thy possession, which thou didst cause us to possess. O our Elohim, wilt thou not bring judgment upon them, seeing that there is in us no strength before this great multitude that is coming against us? We therefore know not what we shall do, but unto thee are our eyes. And all Judah were standing before Yahweh, also their little ones, their wives, and their children. Now as for Yahaziel, son of Zechariah, son of Benaniah, son of Jeiel, son of Mathaniah, a Levite, and the sons of Asaph, there came unto him the Spirit of Yahweh in the midst of the convocation. And he said, Give ye heed, all Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and King Jehoshaphat. Thus saith Yahweh unto you, As for you, do not fear, nor be dismayed, by reason of this great multitude, for not yours is the battle, but Elohim's. Tomorrow go ye down against them, for lo, there they are coming up by the ascent of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the ravine, facing the wilderness of Jeruel. It is not for you to fight in this matter. Take your stations, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh with you. O Judah and Jerusalem, do not fear, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go you out to meet them, and Yahweh will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head, with his face to the ground. And all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell down before Yahweh, prostrating themselves unto Yahweh. And Levites and sons of the Kohathites, and of the sons of the Korathites, stood up to offer praise unto Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, an exceeding loud voice.
That's
They
it.
rose early in the morning and went out to the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went out, Jehoshaphat stood and said, Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Trust ye in Yahweh, your Elohim, and ye shall be trusted. Trust ye in his prophets, and ye shall prosper. And when ye have given counsel unto thy people, he appointed such as should sing unto Yahweh, and offer praise with holy adorning. And they should be going forth before the armed men, and they should be saying, Oh, give thanks unto Yahweh, for age abiding is his loving kindness. And when they began to sing and to praise, Yahweh set liars in wait against the sons of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, who were coming against Judah, and they were smitten.
That's good there. That's good. And so what you see there is you see a pattern of what's taking place. They get the word. The word is, fortunately for them, they're not going to have to battle, but they still had some that would put on the war garments, and everybody came out before. They sang, they praised. The battle had not taken place yet. And so when you think about that, when we have major things in our lives, we're thinking to ourselves, man, I can't wait to be praising and thanking Yahweh after it's taken place, after this has already happened, the healing, the blessing, whatever's waiting. But what you see is you see a history and a pattern. They're doing this before. They're doing this before, which is opening things, getting a person ready. And this is faith. This is faith that they're doing this before the battle's taken place. They're surrounded and they're coming in by the multitudes, and yet they're bowing down, prostrating themselves, and singing loudly to Yahweh with thanksgiving. Okay, so that's the preparation, the attitude, what we just talked about. We already read it, we went through there, but this is what took place. This is what happened. They were smitten. That it did. Yahweh did come through. And what happened from this is it was such a multitude of people that it took them 3 days to collect the spoil. That's massive. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, that's how big it was. It was the attack that was coming against them. Judah was very prosperous under the reign of Jehoshaphat before. And that is all.
And
Happy
one
birthday,
note,
guy.
Sure, absolutely, please.
people look at, and this is very good about Elijah being taken up in the clouds, but he's still alive now. You know that? So you can show people. See,
I know he was
that was
alive.
during Ahab's reign. Ahab's dead, Jehoshaphat dead, and then we get a letter from Elijah.
Where is it?
And that's in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 21, verse 12. And so you can show people Elijah was not in heaven.
Yeah.
And this letter is going to Jehoram, which is the son of Jehoshaphat. So we're talking about many, many years after that Elijah was taken. He's still around.
Yeah.
And so you can show people he's not alive.
Called out of retirement.
Okay.
All right, very good.
Can you write that